Everyone, welcome to Present Value and Discounting, section 3.2. Here we know the value of the future value of the savings bond. It's matured in 18 years, and we need to figure out what the value is for each grandchildren, what the present value is specifically, and we've given us the discount rate of 7%. So in this case, we want to draw a timeline just so we can see what's happening. And the first question you want to ask yourself is money moving forward or backward? It looks like in this case the money is moving backwards. Okay. So let's just use A as an example. So now if money is moving backwards, the future value, okay, is 4,000. So we know after 18 years future value is $4,000. But for instance, in question A, Seth turned 14 years old today. Okay, so he is about here in terms of time. Okay, so again, this is year 18. Let's say this is 17, 16, 15, and let's say this is 14. So this is where Seth is right now. Okay, and we need to figure out what is the present value basically at year 14. But remember, we're moving from money moving backwards. So we need to figure out what the time period is between that 18-year maturity and where Seth is now at 14 years. So in terms of time, it's going to be 18 years minus 14. So in other words, we have 4 more years for that bond to mature. So now that we've visualized that, we can complete the known variables. Okay, so the interest rate is 7%, and our future value is that $4,000 that we discussed. Again, that's the maturity of that bond. Now we're trying to figure out the present value. We can go ahead and use our formula. So in this case, we're figuring out the present value. So our rate is the 7%. Now we figured out the time. We have 4 more years, or 4 years that's going to be discounted. Okay, so look at it that way. And the future value, there's no payments. The future value is 4,000, and the type remains 0. Thank you for fixing my typo. So, and it's a good sign. We see the present value is going to be less than the future value. Okay, so we're discounting money. Now, instead of punching it in right away, it's a good practice to figure out all the values, because ideally or instinctually we should remember that as the discount period increases, the value should decrease. So interest rate's not going to change. Future value is also not going to change. Okay, now the number of years will. Now, Seth was 14, so he had 4 years. Now we're looking at Sean. Okay, so he turned 12 today, so he's somewhere around here. So of course we don't have to count each time, but we're going to remember that's the difference. So it's 18 minus the 12 years. So we're looking at 6 years. Okay, for C, Sherry turned 9 years old, so the difference between 18 minus 9 years. Sheila turned 3 years old, so there's going to be a lot more time for that bond to mature. And finally, Shane, he was born, so there's no years, so that means it needs 18 years for that bond to mature. All right, it's going to discount from 18 years. So now if we actually we use our autofill, and that's a good sign. So we can see that the money has discounted, okay, which makes sense because money moving backwards should be decreasing. Thanks for watching. Happy financing.